Are you in your 20s or 30s and struggling to find and maintain a health routine? If you're like me, you won't want to hit age 40 and wish you did things differently. That said, today we're going to explore 5 things you should prioritize now to avoid those regrets and set yourself up for a thriving, regret-free future. In case you're new here, I'm Nick Urban. Staying consistent with your health habits in your 20s and 30s can feel challenging, but what if I told you there are a few high leverage places to focus so that you perform at your peak and enjoy living your ultimate high quality life with resiliency, vitality, and lots more energy. Perhaps at the same time, slowing down your biological aging and extending your health span. Whatever your goals, these 5 fundamentals will surely help. To start off, number 5, and that is smart nutrition. Of course, this includes the basics like eating unrefined, unprocessed whole foods. And when making these types of changes, I'm much more of a proponent of adding rather than removing. And for a litany of reasons that I've mentioned in an article I'll link below in the description, unfortunately today it's not possible to get all of the nutrients required to thrive from just your diet alone, even if you have a biodynamic farm in your backyard. For reasons that will become apparent later, some of the key nutrients that I like to supplement with for those below the age of 40 include essential amino acids, multi-mineral products, creatine and collagen, and several others. And if you want to know my rationale behind each pick, again, there will be an article accompanying this video in the description below. You're probably thinking, do I really need supplementation? Can't I just get all my... And here's the thing. You can get away with not supplementing for a long time, but symptoms can take a while to present themselves, and over time, when the symptoms are not addressed, that can lead to chronic health issues and degenerative conditions. So you'll certainly want to make sure you're getting not only enough, but a wide variety, a full spectrum of nutrients beginning at a young age. Number 4 is sweating. Now you can do this a lot of different ways. Each have their own pros and cons, but some kind of movement and activity that gets your heart rate way up to 80 to 90% of your absolute max. Movement improves just about every parameter and function throughout the human body. And when you sweat, you naturally help detox endocrine disrupting chemicals, microplastics, nanoplastics, and a lot of other things that contribute to premature aging and early degeneration. If you're up for it, one of my absolute favorites is to do some form of light movement inside a sauna of either kind, traditional or infrared, or to just use the sauna after a workout. That helps build cardiovascular adaptability, resilience, longevity, and a whole lot more. Between your 20s and 30s is also when you build your fitness foundation. So I would shoot for at least 2 to 3 sessions in which you sweat per week, ideally more towards 4 or 5 if you're able. These sessions can be short, just 30-45 minutes is great. Depending on the form of exercise, between 20 and 45 minutes is the sweet spot here. And regardless of your program, perhaps even more important is to sprinkle in a bunch of brisk 10 to 30-minute walks throughout your week. If you want an added challenge, you can add a weighted backpack and do what's called rucking. Number 3, playing. Find some form of cognitively engaging hobby that you can do for life, or you can at least perform and master over the next multiple decades. This alone helps keep the brain sharp. It makes learning new things easier over time, and it has a dramatic impact on overall quality of life. When it comes to play, the most important consideration here is that it's something that's different than your usual routine activities, and that there's no real outcome associated with it. While competition also has its time and place, these play activities are more for enjoying the process than for achieving any outcome or goal. It also frees up your mind to solve problems and create new ideas that help you in other life domains. You can take this a step further and identify as a lifelong learner. Bonus points for picking up new activities that engage your brain could be solving puzzles, gardening, martial arts, dancing, tons of different options there, but the ideal is to choose something that engages a different side of you. Number 2, master the concept of pulsation. When I came up with this, I was really thinking more towards building muscle and strength, pushing yourself hard when you're working out, and then making sure that you not only push yourself hard, but you recover and sleep like a professional. Strength and muscle tend to start to decline rapidly after age 40, so building up a large reserve there will protect your body against all of the consequences of sarcopenia and just general muscle loss. Muscle and strength are among the best predictors for not only your longevity, but your quality of life through then too. Plus, life is just a bit easier when you're stronger. Not only for the physical abilities, but also the profound psychological changes that occur from exercising regularly. Since your muscle and strength reserve will drop as you age, it's important to build a solid foundation now in your 20s and 30s. And in order to do that, you'll have to create a larger and larger stimulus on the body to elicit changes. There are lots of ways of doing this. You can do simple resistance training. You can use the original Tabata protocol, which is 4 minutes of exercise, 20 seconds on, 10 seconds off. You can use blood flow restriction training or KATSU. You can use re-hit technology and devices like the Carol bike or ARX. There are lots of different ways of building strength. Just choose any of the forms that appeal to you and continue to work on it. If you're finding this video helpful so far, go ahead and hit that thumbs up. All right, on to number 1. This might seem like a bit of a curveball considering that I generally talk about health and wellness related topics, but the top most important thing to develop and master before the age of 40 is actually connection. We know from studying not only the blue zones, but the longevity hotspots around the world, that social connection or your perceived social connection is one of the most important factors that contribute to your longevity. Beyond longevity, your social connections also dramatically influence your professional success, your relational success, your happiness, your quality of life, and so much more. You've probably heard the quote that you're the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. While I found that to be true, to me, social connection is only half of the picture here. The other half of the picture is connection to self, understanding the cues that your body gives you, and using that feedback to make smarter, more informed decisions. If you read a book called Biochemical Individuality by Roger Williams, he talks all about the profound differences anatomically, structurally, and function-wise from one person to the next. What works great for me might actually hurt you. And even with the most sophisticated, comprehensive biomarker panels, no clinical research is going to 100% apply exactly to you. For example, for me, I took green tea extract and creatine monohydrate for years simply because the data behind them is so compelling. But here's the thing, with creatine, no matter what dose, what form, or how long I took it, I never experienced any of the performance-enhancing effects or the benefits that make it so widely appreciated. With green tea extract, on the other hand, I actually feel more wired and jittery and anxious than I do with any other caffeine source. Turns out, between my genetics, my epigenetics, and my lifestyle, it just isn't a good fit for me. If I had listened to the feedback my body gave me, I would have discovered this years ago. The other part of connection to yourself is to heed the guidance of emotions. That's because they will steer your life in ways that you don't even understand if you don't address the reason that they're there. Emotions act like your body's primitive guidance system. So you can ignore them all you want, but you're missing out on one of the most ancestrally conserved sources of information. A source of information that can steer you right when the science of today flip-flops every couple of years. As the work of Dr. Joe Dispenza and many others have shown, the non-physical gives rise to the physical. There are tons of different ways of strengthening your intuition and your bodily guidance system. If you want to explore this more, following your emotion can also give you a window into your subconscious to help you understand what's at the root of a disturbing behavior pattern or why you're getting the opposite results anywhere in life of what your conscious mind is telling you, because your subconscious processes way more information than your conscious mind. So when the two oppose each other, your subconscious wins every single time and produces the opposite outcome of what you're looking for. If you want to explore this deeper, check out a podcast I recorded on this in the description for this video. With everything I've discussed today, remember that building your optimal, healthy future starts with each small step you take today. Prioritize these 5 key areas, stay consistent, and make adjustments so that this truly fits your lifestyle. I want to know more about you. Which of these will you start with? Or am I totally off base and you have something else in mind? Either way, drop a comment below and let me know. Since this all begins with the small steps you're taking on a daily basis, check out this video for some of my top morning routines. That's all for today. Be an outlier.